Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
We are back on the drill. Dan Hicken is still, walking on air from the weekend that was. Dancing again.
Oh!
Very light and fluffy. A very light and fluffy dance.
Listen, sports concepts and rationalizations, we call it the 10-minute drill. We'll exchange some right here. We'll argue. We'll punch each other. And then Beef will give out what prize pack today, young man?
Oh, this is a good time this week and into next week, guys. We've got a promotion. I'll tell you more about it at the end of the segment, but we've got a chance for the Googans to head to the local Cineplex, as it were, to catch Run the Race. That's the new film executive produced by Tim and Robbie Tebow.
Yeah, good. I'd like to see that, actually. I probably will go see that.
I'm still reeling from this. What source is Lincoln Riley lost his mind in, telling me that Kyler Murray's, Lincoln, you can't fake that, right? There's going to be a measurement.
Right.
You can't just, we're not going to take your word on it. Kyler Murray looks 5'6" more than he looks 6 feet.
And he probably isn't, but does it, I said this in downtime, doesn't it whet your appetite? If he were 6 feet and 197, would that make you rethink everything?
I'm more worried about the weight than the height. He's so slight. Russell Wilson's 5'10", but he's built like a safety.
Well, what if he weighs 195, 96, 97 pounds?
Still, there's no quarterback in the league who weighs less than 200 pounds. I know that.
Well, anyway.
But still, the fact that his coach is saying that he's 6 feet, 200,
I understand. Duke's Daniel Jones had 12 passes batted down last year. Drew Lock, 6'4", had 8. Murray had 5.
What did Bortles say? And Bortles had 312.
Yes, he did. Half his
No,
passes
I
were
get
knocked
that.
down.
Look, it's all the biggest issue is though, and this is a fair one, and it's not that maybe part of the answer is you should really be sure with those other taller quarterbacks. But I got to think the average size on an NFL defensive line is 2-3 inches bigger than what they're facing in college. So
Lincoln Riley said, I will be shocked if 5 players get their name called on draft day before Kyler.
Well, listen, I would look
Can you imagine, by the way, if you're Kyler Murray, just on a side note, if you get drafted, say, 5th, you understand he went 9th in the MLB draft.
That's pretty good.
Does that not make him arguably the greatest athlete of all time?
Well, it had to be college athlete.
No one has ever been a first-round pick in both sports, have they?
Yeah,
No.
But he's got a lot of work to do to catch up with Bo and Dion and the guys that actually did it at the big level.
Did both?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's going to do both.
Well, I'm just saying, there's plenty of, I can give you a lot of names drafted in the top 10 you've never heard of before.
I see what you're saying.
From baseball standpoint.
That's fair. Yeah. There's some incredible athletes this day and age.
Yeah, I would say this too, man. Look, I would listen to Lincoln Riley. The last time a guy went super hyperbole was Dabo about Deshaun Watson. Look, all I'm going to tell you guys is this guy's Michael Jordan. He's got that kind of leadership, that kind of skill. So, and we kind of have learned to roll our eyes and, okay, you're the head coach when people say that. But, if there's any truth to that at all with Kyler Murray, then you certainly – we'll look past his side.
Just remember one thing. If you watch Kyler Murray in college, he is not a scrambler. He is a pocket passer who can run.
Who can run.
Yeah.
Log's not a big fan. I was listening to their that show they do on, I guess it's Thursdays. Mm-hmm. He and Tony and JP.
Yes.
And Logs said he wouldn't draft him. So I didn't. Now, I got his setup for what they would talk about when they came back, but I didn't hear the actual protracted explanation. So, Anyway, all right, let's get into some other, speaking of 2 sports stars, Dan, I just wonder what kind of reputation and
can't get along with a bad reputation.
And notoriety would Joe Gibbs have if, say, he left to the Redskins and instead
what a career.
Managed the Washington Nationals and won 3 world titles.
Joe Gibbs is one of the great winners in the history of sport. 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. And I don't know how many points championships he has because I haven't watched enough. But it was
he's got 4.
4?
Yeah.
With 3 different drivers.
Yes.
And he's got 3 Daytona 500s.
Yes, it was a wonderfully heartwarming story if you didn't watch NASCAR. And it was perfect. And I'm glad Denny Hamlin won. I was rooting for Denny Hamlin because Joe Gibbs has always been one of the nicest men around as well, on top of all that. And he lost his son, J.D. Gibbs, who part of the reason Joe Gibbs left the NFL is because he was one of those psycho coaches who couldn't do anything but coach, right? And he was missed a lot of his boy's childhood. So he went into a sport where they all could work together. And it was fantastic, and I'm sure they had a wonderful time. And J.D. Gibbs was, his right hand man. He has another son, I think, as well. And so I think it's a great story. Sadly, J.D. Gibbs lost his life in January, and he was a part of Joe Gibbs Racing, obviously, and Denny Hamlin. J.D. Gibbs found Denny Hamlin when he was like 14 years old, and he's been with Joe Gibbs Racing, and he went and won, and he's number 11, which was J.D.'s favorite number, and Denny put J.D. Gibbs' name on his car. There's all kinds of wonderful tie-ins, and it was a lovely victory for them, and for that alone, I was happy. And I sure as heck was rooting for him over Busch. So the villainous one. So anyway, that was kind of cool about what happened at the Daytona 500 yesterday. And that's Hamlin's second in the last 4 years, too, as well.
This is kind of surprising. I keep surprising you with stats, but we talked earlier about Major League Baseball All-Star Game versus NBA All-Star Game and those ratings. And last year was very, somewhat close. 8.7 million watched the MLB All-Star Game. 7.6 million watched the NBA All-Star Game. Would you like to tell me how many watched the Daytona 500 last year?
Last year?
Yeah, well, because these are all 2018. I want to keep it.
Okay. I know the Daytona 500 has lost like half its audience.
I got 8.69 million for Major League Baseball All-Star Game, 7.6 million for NBA. What was the number for last year's Daytona 500?
I'm trying to remember. I'm not good
Would
at
it be
this.
more or less than those?
I think it was less, but I'm not positive.
9.3 million.
Okay,
More
9.3.
people watch the Daytona 500 nationally than the NBA or MLB All-Star Games, which is a little bit
but that number
surprising to me.
Is way down.
But you know what else is way down? The Major League Baseball All-Star number and the NBA All-Star number.
Yeah.
Just viewership in general is way down. And so it makes me start to wonder now, this far in, if there's some inaccuracies in just like how people are watching and following these events. I don't think it necessarily
streaming and such.
I don't think it necessarily indicates a lack of popularity or that you're losing fans. Now, in NASCAR's case, it does, because we documented that last week. It's not all about the TV rating.
Right.
I thought it was a good day for Daytona, though. It had a very, sold out. It looked like it was an enthusiastic crowd. I don't like the hour and a half for the last 20 laps.
Again, with a caveat, when it's sold out, it's 100,000. It used to be 150,000.
Well, that's
so.
that's
all I'm saying.
That's fair enough.
You got to keep it real. What did you think? Just impressions of the NBA All-Star Game. KD comes back. Giannis had the MVP in his back pocket.
Yeah.
It slipped out. KD is deservedly so. Won it. LeBron won it. The over/under was 310. They blew that thing away.
I can't believe that it was so low, the way regular scoring has been in the league this year. Here's what I made up. I watched all weekend. I watched Friday. You know me, I'm a taper now, so I'll DVR, and I watched it Saturday morning. And you probably lose some of the excitement of as it's ongoing. I'm going to play the role of over the dunk contest guy. In today's
I did that last couple years, but
here's
I
why
kind of liked it this week.
Here's why for me. In today's day and age of every single game being televised and every exotic highlight immediately on your phone, you see these unbelievable dunks in games. So
you should look forward to it already next year. Zion will be in it.
Well, that'll make me more interested.
In his Knicks uniform.
I think there's
when he jumps over a big apple.
Yeah, I have a problem of these no names winning. I don't like Diallo in the final. It just doesn't do it for me. But anyway,
I've got an idea. Pross, work
the
with me.
3-point I liked, and
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, basically
they're great shooters, man. My God,
look, the team LeBron last night made 35 3-pointers. They had 100 points on 3-pointers.
How many NBA 3-pointers would you make? Because you fashion yourself a good shooter.
Yeah.
How many NBA 3-pointers would you
I
make?
just nonchalantly said that. Yeah, that's me.
In a minute.
Nailed me. In a minute
with those 5 balls.
I'd say maybe 5 or 6.
10,
you know what'll
15,
happen,
20,
Dan, honestly?
25 of them.
I did a 3-point, deal at the Giants game a few years ago. And this is even then. I tell you what, if you're going to do that, you got to build up some strength, man.
You get tired.
Yeah, about 8 shots in, buddy. You've lost your form. You're just trying to, last thing you want to do is throw up an air ball. I don't know. That would be a fun challenge to maybe run over around the corner here to the park one morning. Get me out of this office, out of this sweatshop for a couple hours and see how we do. I don't know. That minute's such a short time to jack up all those balls.
I don't know
sight of that.
I don't think you get all.
I don't think I'd get more than 5 or
6.
6. I'd probably get up like 15, 16 shots and make 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
I would guess. It'd be fun to do. I don't know if Maybe management next year will send me to the All-Star game to do that. We've already demanded that we go to the draft in Vegas.
And Beef has us also going on a trip to Jose Canseco's Sasquatch hunt.
We're going to go on Sasquatch hunting with Jose.
So that'll be fun. So we got that coming up on the docket.
We're going to learn the truth about the time travel thing.
Well, I lost my comment. Well, the truth was learned when Jose told us he went forward in time and gave us the Super Bowl score, and he
missed it.
He didn't even give us the winner.
Yeah,
Look,
he didn't
he
do so
obviously
well.
went to a different timeline.
Dan, I'm going to give
That's
you.
fair. He was in a different dimension. And he missed it.
I'm going to give you a feel-good story that the Jaguars have to make happen, and I'm starting to think that the payoff may be more than a feel-good story. His measurables pushed him aside through the process, but given a chance now, I think Johnny Wolford is earning a spot in an NFL camp. And if you are, why wouldn't it be here?
Well, good. Let's give him a shot. I'm all for it. Johnny's a great kid, and we've known him since I've known him since he was like 8 years old. So he had another good game yesterday in the AAF.
2 days ago, he got off to a bad start, but he led him from behind. He had you know who scored the winning touchdown for notorious Jaguar Tim Cook. Thank you.
Timmy Cook, the big running back.
Yeah, I've kind of become the AAF expert here a little bit.
You can run with it.
I watched the Orlando game yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We're all a bunch of hombres.
Thank
Yes,
you.
we are.
But Wolford, I was reading. I'm going to have to find it because I'm such.
I know he got into the Jet. What did he get in the Jets camp? I think.
Yeah, and he ended up somewhere else too. But one of the analytic guys who evaluates quarterbacks had him only behind Baker Mayfield last year, ahead of Darnold, and it was the size that keeps him down. And some of these younger guys succeeding. Maybe John Wolford is one of those guys who is given a chance to grow into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Is going to get a shot. And I say, well, why not here? Because our quarterback situation is the worst.
Well, you've been selling me Tennessee all year as a Final Four team, and so I finally paid attention to them, and I was less than impressed Saturday night.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk about the Gator basketball team making its very best showing of the year by a mile.
Okay.
Tennessee laid an egg at Kentucky. Guess what they will do?
What?
They'll beat the hell out of them when they come to Knoxville.
All right.
Tennessee's fine. They had a bad game.
All
I mean,
right.
you're not going to win. Duke loses. They all lose, right?
Duke doesn't lose.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you, Zion next year, slam dunk competition, when he's a member of the Knicks, puts an apple on the top of the backboard, jumps up, grabs the apple, takes a bite, and slams the basketball.
Now you're talking. I'll watch that.
10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you guys think?
I'll watch that.
Zion takes a bite out of the Big Apple.
Yeah, and it would be perfect. See, that's why he can't be a bull. What's he going to do? Slaughter a bull and then dunk? I mean, no, that's not going to work. He can't be a hawk. What's he going to do?
Called
Kill a
shock
hawk?
and awe,
He's going to
Dan.
soar. He's going to put wings on.
Huh?
It's called shock and awe, Dan.
Yeah, no.
If the Hawks somehow can win the lottery, I am going to just laugh. I'm going to cackle. I'll laugh. I'm going to cackle and laugh if that happens.
We'll laugh when they take JT Barrett.
They won't. Well, that's fine. Well, they wouldn't with the number one pick. Although you could do worse than JT Barrett there, tough
JT
guy.
Barrett's going to be a good player.
You keep mocking JT Barrett and watch him be better than Zion. I mean, it's possible for sure. But in all seriousness, though, we've scoffed at the Gators' tournament chances.
Yes.
But I look at the schedule now, Dan, and it's not unlikely they finish 18-13 going to the conference.
18-15.
How do you figure? They're 14-11. They've only got 7 games left. They will be 18-13 if they go 4-2.
18-13.
Yeah, they could finish their regular season 18.
How do you what do you got?
Well, you're going to have to beat LSU. Well, hold on a second. You're going to have to beat LSU. The combo of 3 games with LSU and Kentucky, you're going to have to win one of them and then beat the 3 Vandy, Georgia, Missouri. Point being, 18-13 is not an awful bet on this Florida basketball team. And so
Does that get you in?
a lot better than 16-15 would.
Well, certainly.
That's my point. And you got to now. Listen. Here's the one untold thing about Florida that's forgettable.
Yeah.
Okay, a minute to go against Michigan State, they're down 1 point.
Yeah.
2 minutes to go against Tennessee, they're down 2 points.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go against Kentucky, they're tied. I mean, they've been a team of very close. It's not inconceivable they win one of the 3 between LSU and Kentucky, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you know what? It's also not inconceivable they lose at Vandy or against Georgia or
Fair enough.
Against Missouri. That's my concern. They have 6 games left.
They
have
finally
14 wins. They have 6 games left, Jeffrey.
Yeah, 6. They need to go 4-2. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That would be 18-13.
All right.
I will say this, in
Yeah.
fairness, because we've killed them when they make your eyes bleed watching them.
They're tough.
They looked like a
They played
tournament.
a really good game.
They looked like a tournament
I
team.
think
on
Alabama
Saturday.
set up nicely for him because the one thing about Alabama, and by the way, I think Florida's gone to Tuscaloosa like 8 years in a row.
They
and
haven't
beat
lost
them.
since 06.
Okay.
But they don't play them every year.
Yeah,
either.
but they've won like 8 in a row then.
That's true.
But I will say this. Alabama set up nicely for him because they may be the one team that is more challenged offensively than Florida, if that's hard to imagine, but it may be true.
They made them look like the other day. The Gators' defense
But
probably had
Florida
something to
actually ran some plays,
Yeah.
and they look good. I mean, yeah, Nemhard was obviously had a great game. He was 9 for 9 at 21. So
It'll be interesting to see what they do at LSU this Wednesday. If they win that game, they'll be the hot team again, and then they'll promptly turn around and lose to Missouri at home.
if they win at LSU, I will be stunned.
Well, LSU is not awesome, dude. They're certainly gettable, you know, compared to Tennessee and Kentucky and others. I mean, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. All right, that's the 10-minute drill. Tell them what they won, Danny.
I'm not going to tell them what they won, but I'm going to tell them what caller you need to be, and that would be caller number 4. And then Beef will tell them that you can go see the Tebow movie.
Yeah, you're going to get a $25 Fandango gift card.
Fandango.
And yeah, that's right. From executive producers Tim Tebow and Robbie Tebow, don't miss Run the Race. It's in theaters this Friday. Experience the inspirational and uplifting story of two brothers willing to sacrifice on and off the field today for a better tomorrow. Run the Race is in theaters this Friday. Get your tickets at runtheracemovie.com.